Now let us discuss electric field due to various charge distributions. So first which comes to is electric field due to a point charge. We have already discussed that if there is a point charge capital Q and at r distance at a point, let us say P, if we have to find electric field at point P which is situated at r distance from the charge capital Q, then electric field, how do you do it? Basically we take a point test charge is let's say Q naught, and we say the electric field at point P is basically force experienced by Q naught divided by Q naught, and Q naught is just the test charge. So what is the force experienced by that? Q naught by r square and divide by Q naught. So Q naught can be cancelled out and we get it is KQ by r square. So electric field due to a point charge capital Q at r distance is given by KQ by r square. Next is the electric field due to a rod. So rod is a basically continuous charge distribution, and now we have to get the electric field due to a rod and on its axis at a distance a from one of its end, and the rod itself is having capital L length. So we will say that electric field at point P. To find that, what I am going to do is I am going at x distance, taking a small element of dx length. So I will say that the charge, the dq, the very small charge lying in this dx length can be considered as a point charge. And if you want to write the electric field at point P due to that point charge, then you will write it is kq, which is dq by r square, and the distance is basically x square. So distance between this point charge and the point P is x. So divide by x square, and we have to integrate it. But here is the thing, this is dq and this is x. So we need to relate. So what is the charge on this small element? It is charge per unit length lambda into dx, the required length, and lambda is nothing but total charge lying on the rod divided by total length. Given that it is a uniform charge distribution, we can write that. And now I'm just putting the value of dq. So lambda dx divided by x square, and limit on x is changing from all the way from a to a plus l. So entire rod will be covered. So this is the limit. And when you integrate, you get k lambda is constant quantity, and the integration of 1 by x square is minus 1 by x, and put the limit a to a plus l. So get k lambda minus 1 by a plus l minus minus plus 1 by a, and when you take the LCM and simplify it, so basically a into a plus l is the LCM, and then it is like minus a plus l. So only l is left, and this k lambda will also come over here. So this is the formula. This is the formula for electric field at a distance due to a uniformly charged rod, which itself is having L length and lambda charge per unit length. Let us discuss the next case where again we have a rod. So again we have a rod and we have to find the electric field at this point, but previously it was on the axis. Now it is basically this point is lying in a, can be anywhere in a perpendicular line, kind of not equatorial position, but it can be anywhere in this region. Okay, so there I am going to say that if it is exactly identically in the middle, then this will have just ex component. But what if these angles are not equal? It can be, this is the rod and anywhere can be point. So the perpendicular distance is basically capital R as shown. The rod itself is having L length, and when we join these two lines, two ends of the rod, then these angles is basically theta 1 and this angle is nothing but theta 2. Okay, so we are going to find electric field due to that, and I will say that electric field, to find the electric field, what I am going to do is again from this point I am going at x distance and I am taking a small element of dx width. Now this dx has how much charge? dq, and that dq is written as lambda times dx, that is the charge on the small element. Now this is again treated as a point charge. Electric field due to this at this point will be in this direction. I am calling it dE, and let us say this angle is theta. So if this is theta, then this is also theta. Now I can say my ex is nothing but dE cos theta. And what about ey? Ey is dE sin theta. So it will have ey, one second. Let us consider ey to be in downward direction. It doesn't matter. We'll get our answer. So ey is dE sin theta in this case. or we can write minus de sine theta if we still want to consider that in upward direction. Let us consider standard upward direction only. So we will say that this component, the downward component, is basically Ey is, see, de sine theta is in this direction, so I am putting a minus in front of it, so that Ey is still in upward direction. So first focus will be to finding Ex. So to find the Ex, I am saying Ex is nothing but it is de cos theta, and we have to integrate, right? What is de? De is nothing but it is k dq by r square, which r? This distance is the r. Let us call that y. So I'll say by y square into cos theta. Now we need to remove a lot of basic, we need to remove the variables one by one. So for that I am relating the variables. First is dq. dq is nothing but lambda dx. So what is dx? Now again dx, and there is like theta also, cos theta also, y square is also there. So first I am saying that y by r is nothing but cos theta. So y is nothing but r. One second, this is opposite. So y by r is sec theta. Y by r is sec theta. So y is nothing but r sec theta. How do you relate this? X and theta. So I am saying that x divided by r is nothing but opposite by adjacent. So tan theta. So x is r tan theta. Differentiate this. So differentiation of x is dx. So dx is nothing but r. Differentiation of this is r. R is a constant quantity. And it is differentiation of tan theta is sec square theta d theta. And now that is what our dx value. So I am going to put my dq, that is lambda into dx, and then I put my dx, and then I am going to put my y as well. So let's see what does it become. So k dq is lambda into dx. Dx itself is r sec square theta d theta divide by and y square. And what is y? R square sec square theta, and then there is one more cos theta. So sec square theta is gone, one r is gone, and you can say that k lambda by r is a constant quantity which comes out, and it is integration of cos theta d theta. And you put the limit on angle. So angle, we considered this angle to be theta. So I'll say theta changes from all, see this is positive angle. So I'll say theta changes from all the way from minus theta 1 to plus theta 2. So see angle, which is angle is again angle we have to consider with sine. So this is minus theta 1 to plus theta 2. So let us put that limit minus theta 1 to plus theta 2. And when we integrate, what do we get? It is Ex is k lambda by r integration of cos theta d theta. Limit was minus theta 1 to plus theta 2. That gives us k lambda by r. Now integration of cos theta is nothing but sine theta from minus theta 1 to plus theta 2. Put the limit k lambda by r sine theta 2 minus of sine of minus theta 1. Now we know that minus sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. So eventually this becomes sine theta 2 minus, and this becomes minus sine theta 1. So eventually it adds up and we get k lambda by r sine theta 1 plus sine theta 2. And angles are measured this way. One angle is that way and another is this way, and this is my Ex. So finally formula is k lambda by r sine theta 2 plus sine theta 1 or theta 1 plus theta 2. Let us discuss about Ey as well. So what was our Ey? So this was our dE. This was our theta. So Ey was nothing but minus dE sine theta. Integrate it to get the full Ey, and then minus what was dE? K q, which was lambda dx. And what was dx? Dx was r sec square theta d theta divide by r square, which was this y square, which was nothing but r square sec square theta, and instead of cos theta as last time, we have just sin theta over here. So this sec square theta r will cancel out. We'll be left with k lambda by r. In fact, minus k lambda by r will come out, and it is integration of what? Integration of sin theta d theta, and again limit is same. It changes from minus theta 1 to plus theta 2. Minus k lambda by r. What is the limit? So what is the integration of sin theta? It is minus cos theta. And limit is again minus theta 1 to plus theta 2. Put the limit and we get this minus and minus I am taking out. So it becomes k lambda by r cos theta 2 minus cos of minus theta 1. And what is cos minus theta 1? Cos of minus theta is simply plus cos theta. So it will just become our theta 1. So we can write that this is cos theta 1. So this is the formula for Ey, and we already considered this negative sign. So it is in upward direction only. So final formula is that Ey is k lambda by r cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. Remember, see, this is in this direction. So this angle minus this angle is what you need to do. So always do the angle which is towards Ey minus the other angle. So if we look at the both formulas, then this was my Ex, k lambda by r sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2, and this was my Ey, k lambda by r cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. If we discuss some of the cases, what if this is the rod and we have to find over here? So we just join both of its end from here and here from this reference line. This is my theta 2. And what about theta 1? Theta 1 is 0 in this case. So if we are talking about a rod and this point lies at r distance, the point P lies at r distance, then theta 1 will be like 0. If we have infinite rod, then theta 1 and theta 2, like this theta 2 is also like approximately 90 degree and theta 1 is also approximately 90 degrees. So when we put that, we can different cases. And what if the point is outside? So if we have point which is lying, suppose this is the rod and a finite rod, and we have to get the field over here, then we take this angle as theta 2 and this angle, see theta 1 we take below, right? And this is ideally this should be that way. So theta 1 is that side. Suppose this angle is 5, then I say that theta 1 is negative of 5. So formulas will be same. Just put your theta 1 as negative 5, given that this angle is 5. You will get the Ex and Ey, keeping the values of theta 1 and theta 2 in this formula. Let us now discuss the electric field due to a charged ring. So this is a uniformly charged ring of radius r. Then at x distance on its axis, there is a point P where we have to find the electric field. So what I am going to do is, on this ring, I am going to take a charge that is dq. Similarly, I am taking the same dq at the opposite end as well. So while I am taking this 2 dq, because I want to use symmetry of the ring. So what will be electric field due to this dq? It will be like in this direction. Let us say this angle is theta and that electric field is dE. Similarly, from due to this dq, there will be again our electric field that is dE, and this angle will be same as theta, and where tan theta is r by x, here also like it is r by x only. So both will be same angle, that will be theta only. Now if you make the component then of these two dE, then you will get dE cos theta and then dE sin theta. That is the component of this dE. And similarly, this dE cos theta and this dE sin theta. So we'll say these electric field is a vector quantity. So this dE sin theta gets cancelled. And overall we get just 2 dE sin theta. In that direction, I need to integrate this to get the total electric field. And we know due to symmetry, electric field is going to along the axis itself. So you can say along the axis or just the electric field due to a ring. So my purpose is to find 2 dE sin theta. So let us find that. First is, again this was dq. This was again dq. It was dE. And overall, and this was theta. So the total electric field is nothing but integration of 2 dE cos theta. So 2, What is dE? dE is kq by r square. So k charge is dq by r square. So distance, this distance is square. So let us call it y. So by y square and then cos theta, right? So now I have to integrate, but what are my variables? Here k is a constant quantity, k is not changing. The y square. So if you take another dq, for example, this is the ring and you take this dq over here, this and the opposite pair, is still your this distance is radius only, this distance is x only. So this distance is y only and y square is equal to r square plus x square. This angle is still going to be 90 degree only. So y is also a constant quantity. What about cos theta? Cos theta, see, tan theta is always r by x. This angle is going to be theta. So tan theta is always r by x. If tan theta is a constant quantity, then your theta is also not changing. So cos theta is also a constant quantity. So here all of them are constant quantity except this dq. So 2k cos theta by y square, and it is integration dq. Now what does integration dq means? Add all such small charges. So when you add, what do you get? Integration dq generally becomes q. But here we have taken a pair. So if you cover just half the ring, when you take this, the opposite end is also considered. When you take this, then this opposite end is also considered. So you just need to integrate all dq. You need to add all dq from this top point to all the way up to here. So this integration of dq is not q but q by 2 in this particular case. So what is our final formula becomes? Our final formula becomes 2k. What is cos theta? Cos theta is basically x by y and this is our integration dq, which is x by y, and this is q by 2, and there is already a y square, so it makes it y cube. This 2 is gone, so it is kqx by y cube. Now what is y? So if we say y, then y is nothing but r square plus x square raised to power half, and we need y cube. So y cube is nothing but power 3 by 2. So it is kqx by x square plus r square, or r square plus x square raised to power 3 by 2. So this is our final formula, kqx, x divided by x square plus r square raised to power 3 by 2. What if this is the graph of this? So versus x versus e graph is drawn over here. So if you see, this is proportional to x. If x is very small, then for this small region it is proportional to x, and you can plot this graph. So this graph gives us a maxima and then it approaches like infinity. So it gives us maximum electric field at a distance which is r by 2. Due to symmetry, we can say if x is negative, means we are talking about a point which is not that side, it is this side. Then the direction of electric field will be away. This is positively charged ring, so electric field will be in this direction. Here electric field was in this direction. So if we extend this axis and the electric field in the other way around, then the graph will be symmetric but will be the other way around, and here again you will get a maximum magnitude of electric field at minus r by root 2 distance. So at plus minus r by root 2 distance from the center of the ring, the field is maximum. And if we say that what if the x is 0, what if the field at the center? So for that we can simply put x to be 0, and that is 0 and this is 0, so eventually that gives us 0. So electric field at the center of the ring is nothing but 0, so this is passing from 0 also. Let us discuss the next case, that is electric field due to an arc with linear charge density lambda, and here we are finding at the center. So this is the arc where linear charge density is lambda, and we needed to find the electric field at this particular point. So what I am doing is I am dividing my theta exactly in the half. From middle I am going at an angle phi, let's say phi, and I am taking another angle d phi. This d phi is very small angle, so I get this part. So what is the length of this part? Length of this part is r d phi. And how much is the charge on this part? So I will say the lambda, linear charge density, times the length of the part, and this is nothing but my dq. Due to this dq, I am going to get an electric field which is in this direction. This is the perpendicular bisector of the angle, and then I will say this angle is phi, so this is also phi. Let us call this as dE. Then this component down, this dE will have two components. One will be this and another will be that. Now all of us know that due to symmetry, it will be downward only. So this part will get cancelled out and we will say the net electric field is nothing but integration of that dE, this dE cos phi. What is that dE? dE is nothing but kq by r square. So k, what is q? q is nothing but dq by distance square. So what is the distance? Distance between this charge dq, this small charge dq and this point is nothing but r only and r square. R is the radius of the arc. And times cos phi. And we needed to integrate. So k by r square. What is dq? dq we have already written, it is lambda r d phi. So lambda r d phi I am writing later. So cos phi d phi. And here everything else is a constant. So I am taking them out and I am integrating this only. So 1 r gets cancelled. And here I am going to put the limit on phi. So phi is changing from all the way from here to here. So this is minus theta by 2 because this was angle bisector to plus theta by 2. So the limits is minus theta by 2 to plus theta by 2. And put that limit and we get k lambda by r as it is. And integration of cos phi is nothing but sin phi. And when you put the limit, you get sin theta by 2 minus sin of minus theta by 2. Which eventually leads us to 2 sin theta by 2 because this is sin theta by 2 and this is plus sin, this minus and this minus will become plus because sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. So we'll get positive over here and it will become sin theta by 2 plus sin theta by 2. So 2 sin theta by 2, 2 I am taking over here. So it is 2k lambda by r sin of theta by 2. What is theta? Theta is the angle subtended at the point by the arc. And what about the direction? Direction is basically along the angle bisector. If it is positively charged, then it is away. If it is negatively charged, then it is towards that.